Here's what's happening at Rose Medical Center in Denver right now. That hospital is on lockdown after multiple reports of the sound of gunfire. The calls came into police just after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Most important to know is that no shooter has been found in or around Rose Medical Center. No victims have been found in or around Rose Medical Center. You're looking at a live picture from the scene there. Police at this point are regrouping and they are preparing to do a slow, methodical, room-by-room search of the area in which the shots were reported. The media's obsession with the term active shooter did not help people understand what was going on there this afternoon. While the hospital did go into an active shooter lockdown, there never was an active shooter situation, at least not as far as Denver police can tell. So what they're doing now is actually the opposite of an active shooter response. An active shooter response was what we've seen in the years following Columbine, where police move to someone who is an active threat. In this case, they don't see an active threat. So now they're going to begin this slow, careful search. They do have surveillance video, according to 9 Wants to Know, of a person that they're looking at. White male, 30 years old, 130 pounds, wearing a flannel shirt and a cap. 9 Wants to Know is reporting that person was seen near Rose Medical Center with a large bag pulling out a rifle. But that was several hours ago. So that's a suspect description that's been given out by Denver police, and they are continuing to look for that person or any other threat there at the hospital. The hospital remains on lockdown. People inside were told to shelter in place, which just means stay where they are. If you can stay out of that area, please do. We will keep you updated if anything changes. Vice President Joe Biden, talking to us during his stop in Denver, says we are about to find out if fear works, if fear can win an election. He talked with our politics guy, Brandon Rittiman.
I don't think that strategy works. We'll soon find out, but it's being put into effect to a fairly well.
You don't think it'll work in November? It's obviously worked to some degree.
Oh, no. Yeah, but look, you know, my grandpop used to have an expression. He used to say, Joey, people don't really make up their mind until after the World Series. I'm not sure it's that late, but if you notice, every election, in retrospect, voters have made up their mind later and later.
Think about it. When was the last time that you saw Vice President Biden at a loss for words? It happened when Brandon Rittiman told him that Donald Trump was finally backing away from birtherism, after Trump had long suggested that President Obama is not actually an American.
The Donald Trump campaign put out a statement which seemed to acknowledge that the president was, in fact, born in the United States of America.
All right.
I'm just curious yeah, here we are. We're 2 months from the election.
Oh, God. I mean, how do you intelligently comment on some of the things Donald Trump says? I've kind of given up. I think, look, people, I don't have any comment on it.
Trump himself didn't say it. I could read you the statement if you like. He says, the campaign says, in 2011, Mr. Trump was finally able to bring this ugly incident to its conclusion by successfully compelling President Obama to release his birth certificate. Mr. Trump did a great service to the president and the country by bringing closure to the issue that Hillary Clinton and her team first raised. And we could talk about fact-checking of that statement.
Well, I tell you what, he's a great patriot for doing that. He deserves a lot of credit. Come on. I mean, I've given up trying to comment on some of the bizarre things that he says and does. But, you know, it's his candidacy, and we'll see what happens.
Biden had come to Denver to speak at the annual Corbell dinner at DU. If they'd fought ISIS wearing the uniform of the American military, we'd all call them heroes. The 2 Coloradans, whose bodies were brought home to Union Station in Denver this morning. But Levi Shirley from Arvada and Jordan McTaggart from Castle Rock went to Syria to fight the Islamic State, to fight under the banner of Kurdish forces. They saw evil in the world, and they gave their lives to fight it over the summer. Their families have spent weeks now negotiating and pleading to bring their sons' bodies home.
Levi and Jordan were American heroes, and they deserve to be remembered that way.
One of the biggest hearts, caring person. Yeah, he just cared more about everybody else than himself.
He said, I am first and foremost an American. I'm here for my country.
I know what wars look like, and I didn't want any of that for my son. But I'm so proud of him for going.
When he went over there the first time, he said, Don't tell people where I'm at, but share the good word, the good fight.
The stakes are so high because ISIS is so evil. He couldn't stay here. He had to go.
It means a lot to get a closure of everybody that helped make it happen for all the hiccups along the way. It's pretty special.
I wanted to stay so bad, but the last thing I wanted to see was my son come off of that train.
Nothing brings our boy back, but just all the outpouring of support is amazing.
If we could ask for anything, it would be that everybody doesn't lose sight of what's happening over there.
I just want to live in a way that my brother would be proud of.
Shirley and McTaggart were transported back to the U.S. alongside the body of a third American, a man from North Carolina, who also fought and died in Syria. Legacy High School's football team is playing its homecoming game tonight. Legacy Strong is the phrase that you'll hear in the hallways, you'll see on the signs and on T-shirts around town. It's become the rallying cry for the school community in Broomfield less than a week after a football team bus crashed into a pillar as it left the airport. The bus driver was killed, and 3 coaches were seriously injured. Our Steve Stager is outside North Stadium in Westminster tonight, where the team decided that the game would go on as scheduled.
And Kyle, it is not just the motto for this school. Do a Twitter search. You will see it's the motto for just about every school in the metro area. You'll see photos of support for everyone impacted by this. It's written on the cake. Football is family. And consider the cake was delivered to the Legacy High School football team by another, a competitor. Oh, how quickly in this sport of rivals do you realize everyone's on the same team?
The last week has been really touching. I have had kids from Legacy, from Mountain Range, Horizon High School, Thornton High School, North Glen. They've all been calling me, texting me, Facebook, messaging me.
Josh Chopper lost his wife Carrie Sunday when she apparently lost control of the bus carrying the Legacy High School football team and hit a pole near the airport.
She was a beautiful person, a beautiful soul, and she touched the lives of everybody around her in a very beautiful and positive way.
Pictures of that crash aren't important now. The important pictures come when you search the dozens of images under the hashtag #LegacyStrong. The other schools showing their support with banners, support for the school, the coaches, and the bus driver lost.
One of my friend's sons plays for Horizon High School, and they had their game last night. And he called me and he asked me what my wife's favorite color was.
The student section at Horizon wore yellow last night, Carrie's favorite color.
After I say goodbye to my wife for the final time at the memorial service, and then I'm going to reach out to everybody that I can and tell everybody in the world, thank you so much for the outpouring of everything you've given to me.
Chopper has been around football his entire life, as a player, then a coach. And this week, he once again realized everyone's on the same team.
Football is a family because it's a brotherhood. Football embraces everybody around them.
Carrie's memorial service is on Monday. Chopper, as he likes to say, says he will respond to everyone after that memorial service. By the way, he is not going to be here at this game tonight. Instead, he's going to be at Thornton's homecoming game. He used to coach there, and there will be a special tribute to Carrie there tonight as well. Kyle.
Surrounded by support at every turn. That is good to hear. Steve, thank you. Boulderites, you've got to start locking up your bikes. It's obvious, I know, but CU Boulder's having a real bike theft problem this year. They usually see fewer than 10 bikes stolen during the first 3 weeks of the school year. This year, CU Boulder police say that thieves made off with 43 bikes, and they are a special kind of bold and stupid, just grabbing bikes in the middle of the day right underneath surveillance cameras. Police note that they really prefer it if you lock your bike up with a U-lock instead of cable locks. Joe Coors Jr., the great-grandson of Coors Brewery founder Adolph Coors, passed away yesterday. Joe Coors Jr. ran Coors Tech for years. Then he ran for Congress as a Republican and lost. He died from complications following a stroke. Joe Coors was 72 years old. Our Kim Christensen joins us now with some perspective on Joe Coors, the man, the community member, the philanthropist. You crossed paths with him many times over the years.
I knew him socially, and I knew Gail socially. She is a breast cancer survivor, but Joe was the kind of guy that was just Joe. Like, hey, Kim, how's it going? And they live on my side of town, and I can only say that he is a devoted husband, father, and grandfather, and that is what you saw every single time you saw Joe Coors. You forgot he was Joe Coors.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Sure.
just talking to Holly today, she brought that up, his daughter. She said, I forgot my dad's a public figure. And she said her son, who's in high school, said, but you know, I've got more golf games to do with Grandpa.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be tough on that family. Very devoted family man, very faithful, loyal to his church, his community, and everybody in Golden knows Joe Coors as Joe.
Kim, thanks. Joe Coors was knit right into the center of that big Coors family. You heard Kim mention his wife Gail, his daughter Holly. He's survived by 2 other children and 9 grandchildren. Here at Next, our search for the smartest kid in Colorado led us to a group of high school students. For the 2nd year in a row, the AP Calculus class at St. Mary's Academy in Inglewood scored perfect 5s on their AP exams. Results just came back from when the all-girls class took the test last spring. They kind of knew that they'd be in a strong position, so the pressure was really on not to be the odd woman out.
We were all nervous that we would be that one person to get like a 4. But we did so many practice tests and everyone was just so supportive that in the end, I think we all knew way more than what was required to pass the test.
If you think you know of the smartest kid in Colorado, you can email us next@9news.com or get our attention anytime with the hashtag HeyNext. One of the most powerful groups in conservative politics isn't helping Donald Trump.
We're staying out. We think we can make the biggest difference in either these Senate races in some parts of the country or here in Colorado.
And they're targeting one race alone in our state. Got 99 problems and this pitch ain't one, the winning idea from Denver Startup Week's pitch competition. And this guy, whatever this guy is doing.
That full moon is going to be rising tonight. Just a gorgeous one. It's actually the harvest moon. It was said back in the day that that extra light helped the farmers do their harvesting. Again, moonrise coming at us at 7:17. It should be spectacular and it'll look pretty much full all weekend long. Tonight will be a cold one. We're going to be watching those temperatures cooling off to the upper 40s here in the metro area. We're looking at a few clouds right now, but I'm thinking mostly clear after about midnight. Across the state and especially out to the west, we're watching freeze warnings out there until about 9 o'clock in the morning. Upper 20s, lower 30s. Craig, Meeker, Hayden, Pagosa Springs, Durango, you folks all included in that. The rest of tonight looks pretty good, and tomorrow morning even better. We kick off our Saturday with plenty of sunshine. There are those clouds that come racing in about 3, 4 o'clock. I'm not anticipating any rain here for the city, but we will have the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms across the southeastern plains. Hey, maybe you're firing up the grill as we say so long to summer. This is our final weekend. Those numbers are going to be pretty warm. Upper 70s into the 80s for the weekend, and that heat, it sticks around for the start of next week.
I'm Tim Phillips with Americans for Prosperity.
The deepest pockets in conservative politics are only getting involved in one big race in Colorado this year, the 6th congressional district, the string of suburbs represented by Republican Congressman Mike Kaufman, challenged by Democrat Morgan Carroll.
Would you consider supporting Mr. Kaufman in the congressional race?
Americans for Prosperity, part of the Koch brothers network, is not getting involved in the presidential race to help Donald Trump, and it's left Republican Senate candidate Darrell Glenn hanging in Colorado. It's where I started our discussion with AFP's national president Tim Phillips when we met up in Aurora. He's in dire straits against Senator Michael Bennet. AFP's in a number of Senate races around the country. Why not Colorado?
We try to get involved where we think we can make the biggest difference. And we think in Colorado, it's in this congressional race with Congressman Kaufman.
So you guys are going door to door talking to folks.
Right.
So what happens when you knock on a door and somebody wants to talk about the biggest story in politics, which happens to be Donald Trump? What do you say?
We say that we're focused on this congressional race, and we want to talk about the issues, the differences between Morgan Carroll on Obamacare and government spending and cronyism, and how Kaufman has done a good job in urging them to vote no on her. And we don't get involved in presidential. And sometimes folks do want to talk about that. It's a race getting a ton of coverage. I know the candidates have been here in Colorado a lot, but we stay focused where we can make the biggest difference. And we're convinced it's down ballot this year.
Last question, big debate in Colorado these days about where this state stands politically. Based on what you see, honestly now, where's Colorado? Where's it going?
In non-presidential years, our side has shown an ability to do very well. But if you're truly going to move a state where we want to move this state on the issues, we have to show we can win big races in presidential years. And this congressional race, Morgan Carroll, Congressman Copeland. It is a big one. We acknowledge that. We do.
Tim Phillips from AFP, thanks for your time.
Great to be here.
Welcome to Colorado.
It's always good to be here.
Morgan Carroll's campaign sent me a statement saying, quote, everyone who believes that our election should be free from corporate influence should be concerned that the Koch brothers are attempting to buy this election. Mike Kaufman owes his campaign to the Koch brothers. Next may be dumber than a box of rocks sometimes, but Noel Brennan's going to take us on an adventure and make us smarter in 60 seconds. And a final tribute to the strength of Legacy High ahead of tonight's big game. With Steve Steger on a different assignment today, our Noel Brennan was next up for the duty of covering the cat fashion show. But again, we couldn't find a cat fashion show. So we sent Noel to the annual Gem and Mineral Show to see if he could make rocks interesting in 60 seconds.
So this might not rock your world.
People collect rocks like they collect stamps or coins.
But rocks are everywhere. Here, there, and here.
So this is the 49th annual Denver Gem and Mineral Show.
At the second biggest show of its kind in the whole country.
It's exciting, sure. We look forward to it all year.
An exhibit hall of collectors, dealers, scientists, paleontologists, and
well, stand still, food.
This T-Rex devouring children.
I am a paleo puppeteer.
Mr. Bones.
My description of my job.
Digs the fossils most of all.
Because of my puppets, I got hooked on paleontology.
If not the bones, the gems and the rocks will knock your socks off. I mean, that rhodochrosite is ridiculous.
Rhodochrosite's a Colorado state mineral.
Come on, everybody knows that.
Rock collectors do.
If you didn't, this is a good place to learn.
We always need more geologists and mining engineers.
Of course, paleo puppeteering doesn't seem like a bad gig either. For next, I'm Noel Brennan.
Denver does have the second largest gem and mineral show in the U.S. Biggest is in Tucson, Arizona, and I think Noel just earned himself a plane ticket. We could have told you 1,000 stories from Denver Startup Week. If you saw my sad attempt to learn coding for kindergartners yesterday, you should check it out on the next Facebook page. Now, the next big thing might just be the soccer sidekick, or so says Denver Startup Week's Pitch Challenge. More than 150 entrepreneurs pitched their products to a panel, and there's your winner right there, the soccer sidekick. The ball spins on that elastic cord, and then it comes back to the player in a way that's supposed to feel like it's actually being returned by another person, not just a rubber band. The creators won $25,000 in prizes, including round-trip flights to investor meetings. We're back with a final word about Legacy High School's courageous decision, and we'll fulfill our promise to always leave you smiling at the end of the week. Legacy High School in Broomfield is making a courageous decision, the right decision, to play its homecoming game tonight following last weekend's bus crash. The shirts are the simplest reminder of a serious commitment by that community to come closer, lift each other up when events threaten to pull them apart, push them down. So good luck tonight, Legacy. It's Friday.
I am expecting my first child, so me and my husband are very, very excited. It's a big day for us. I found out a couple days ago, I took like 6 pregnancy tests just to be like on the safe side. It doesn't get any more safer than that. All of them were yes, 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 yes. So it's soaking in, and now I'm able to just spread the news.
What I'm excited about is that my birthday is coming up.
When's your birthday?
March.
March? And how old are you going to be in March?
7.
Good news today is I'm a musician, so I have a couple of upcoming shows coming up.
I just became a grandpa for the first time. So my grandson's 2 months old, and he's just the most awesome guy on the planet.
I just feel happy this day because it's always good to be happy. When you frown, you mess up your day. When you're happy, it makes life good, and everybody around you sees you and is happy too.
Want to make sure we mention this with a microphone this time. Legacy High School's making a courageous decision to play homecoming tonight following last weekend's bus crash. These shirts that are around town, it's the simplest reminder of a serious commitment to that community to come together and come closer in tough times. Good luck tonight, Legacy. See you next time.